guys, my name is Kim, and if you're new here on my channel, I talk about the trials and triumphs of trying to live our best healthy lives. In today's video, we're going to be talking about something maybe a little controversial, and it's what I consider to be the worst weight loss mistakes. Some of them I've made, and some of them I've witnessed. Just a little bit about me. I have lost more than 100 pounds and have followed Weight Watchers as part of that journey. I am currently on the WW Blue plan and I get 23 points a day. But let me tell you, losing weight is not easy. And over my weight loss journey, which it took more than 5 years to go from about 250 pounds to where I'm at currently, which is about 130. I've learned some things along the way. And a lot of people want to know what I did right, but let me tell you, it's maybe where we did things wrong that we learn the most. So keep on watching and let's get to it. Before we get into the worst weight loss mistakes, I feel like I need to give you a little disclaimer. I am not a certified dietitian, I'm not a Weight Watchers coach, and at this point in my life, I'm not a certified personal trainer. I have in the past worked with clients as a certified personal trainer, and I did, as part of that, do some continuing ed and weight loss management. Now, with that said, I'm going to get into mistake number one. The first mistake in your weight loss journey that you can make is thinking that there's like one magic habit. If you've ever scrolled Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, people are trying to sell you things, teas, exercise equipment, exercise programs, and they want you to think that that is the key to losing weight. Now, with an exercise program or certain things, if you follow it, it's going to work. Just like Weight Watchers. If you follow Weight Watchers, it will work, but you have to be consistent with it. Where it gets a little tricky though is things like if you drink a gallon of water a day, you'll lose weight. Or if you take this particular medicine, you'll lose weight, or this particular product. And I think that gets a little dangerous. So having lost as much weight as I have and been able to maintain it, I can tell you there's not a magic bullet. And if there is one, somebody needs to share it with me, because let me tell you, I want to know how to eat ice cream every day and maintain my weight. All right, the next mistake you can make is not being consistent. So I kind of touched on it in the first one. Anything's gonna work if you follow the plan. But you have to follow a plan that you can be consistent with. If you are, say, tracking on Weight Watchers 3 or 4 days out of the week, and then just going hog wild on a weekend, it's not gonna work. Or if you're doing something really great for 3 weeks and then fall off the ride for 3 weeks, you're gonna struggle too. So the key is to find something that works for you and that you want to work with and that you feel like you can stick with long term. Okay. I get in trouble when I do this, and this is weighing yourself every day. Your body's weight fluctuates day to day, and it can be really hard to stick and be consistent if your weight's fluctuating too much. So weighing yourself weekly or even bi-weekly is going to be a better way for you to stick to your health journey and not get discouraged. What you want to worry about is the trends, not what happens day to day. One of the things that I tricked myself into believing was that I had to look a certain way or be a certain weight or wear a certain clothing size to do things. And that can be one of the worst weight loss mistakes you make, especially when it comes to exercise and weight training. Now, like I said, I am not your personal trainer. And I'm not your personal trainer. But I do know in my own experience and in my own life how important exercise is. Not just for weight loss and aesthetic goals, but for mental health. And it's really important that you don't put that on hold. Let me tell you, you do not have to wait until you're a certain size to do resistance training. Resistance training is super important when it comes to weight loss because it helps you build muscle, and the more muscle you have, the higher your basal metabolic rate is. So that means you have to work less throughout the day to burn the same amount of calories. Now, yes, you will hear, well, I want to lose the weight and then tone up. And I really hate the idea of toning up because I want to do strength training for how it makes me feel and not just the way it looks. And like I shared in my loose skin video, there's only so much that I can do with extra skin, but I can still be really strong and have the muscles that help me live a really fun, active life. And more importantly, it helps me do the functional things like get off the toilet or roll out of bed or play on the ground with my kids. When I first joined Weight Watchers, one of the things that I really loved was how the big goal was broken down into little goals. So it was about losing 5% of your body weight and then 10%. It wasn't always set on the fact that I had to lose 100 pounds. But when we start to set some goals, especially in the beginning of a weight loss journey, we can set some things that are pretty unrealistic. And when it comes to goal setting, your goal should be SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Now, the timing can be a little interesting, especially if you're on a longer journey. But if you're just signing up for Weight Watchers or just starting a program, it's really hard to put pressure on yourself. And if you want to lose 20 pounds in a month and you don't do it, what happens? Do you just decide, I'm done? Like, whatever, it's over. I couldn't do this, so obviously I can't do that. No, you are still trending in the right direction. And so it's really important to find little goals that will add up. So if you have not read James Clear's Atomic Habits, I highly suggest it. This book really talks about the way to develop small habits that will make big changes. And that's what setting smaller goals will do, because if you set the big unrealistic ones, you're just setting yourself up for failure. Now, this next one is super hard, and I am 1000% guilty of it, and that is comparing your progress to someone else. When we go on a health journey, sometimes it really helps to have a buddy. And I had an accountability partner friend when I joined WW 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. Let's not talk about it. But it really helped because somebody can support and encourage you, and they know what you're going through, and they can give you ideas. I mean, that's the whole point of my channel, is that I can be your accountability buddy and give you some good ideas, and maybe you give me some good ideas, and we're all like on the same page. But if you and I were trying to work toward the same goal, no matter what, even if we ate the same exact things, did the same exact workout, our progress might look different. And it can be really hard and discouraging when we don't see the results that someone else has. So it's so important for you to focus on your journey and that trend in what you perceive to be the right direction. Now, what the right direction for you is, I don't know. But it's all about what's going to make you happy and what's sustainable, not what is sustainable for your best friend or your neighbor or the person in your Bible study. Okay, this is going to be a hot take because I know there are some people out there who just love these. But I'm going to tell you, don't get caught up in the supplement game. Because when it comes to supplements, one, some of them are really unregulated. Two, they are appropriate for certain situations. And three, people are just trying to sell you things. I'm not trying to sell you anything, at least not right now. So, for example, you can walk into a nutrition store and the person working behind the counter probably has no education in dietetics or weight loss management, and they certainly don't know your personal story. You can tell them, hey, I am starting a weight loss journey and I was interested in protein. And they're of course going to try to sell you the most expensive protein and then tell you that you should take this pre-workout and these BCAAs when they don't know what your workouts look like. They don't know the stress on your body, and they don't know your daily intake. And so I just caution you to be careful because one, you can spend a ton of money on things that might not be appropriate. So for example, and this is just me, case study of one, pre-workout. Now, I used to work at a community gym and I taught fitness classes, spin, strength training, and my supervisor had an education in exercise science, but he was a weightlifter. I ran, he lifted weights. And of course, yes, I lifted weights, but I was lifting like 5-pound dumbbells and he was like bench pressing 45 dumbbells. You know, like there's a difference there. And he was all the rage about pre-workout. So I take this pre-workout and my skin feels like it's electric. Like I have goosebumps, the hair is standing on ends, and I feel like I'm just like tingling. And I get on the treadmill and my heart is beating so fast that it feels like it is going to explode out of my chest. So later down the road, I learned pre-workout's not really the best for cardio workouts. I know people like it, and that if it works for you, it works for you, but don't think that you have to do it because you saw someone else. You know, I actually take very few supplements except for iron and some vitamin D, which are recommended by my primary care physician, and I will drink the Premier protein shakes. But for me, taking that additional stuff just isn't worth the money when it comes to what my perceived benefit is. All right, so the next one I'm going to share is making weight loss hard. Yes, losing weight is definitely hard. Sticking to a plan is definitely hard, but you can make it harder on yourself. So for example, to me, one of the most important things I can do as part of my health journey is to track my food. Now why? Because I think, in my opinion, we tend to overestimate how much we work out and underestimate how much we eat. And it's really easy for me to give myself allowances day in and day out if I'm not tracking. Tracking doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be time consuming. Heck, it is on an app. When I started like my first weight loss journey a million years ago, I had to look up calories in a book that my grandma had in the kitchen drawer. That was hard. Tracking my food on an app is not hard. And the more complicated you make it, the harder it is going to be to stick with it. For this mistake, I have definitely done that. And it is thinking that you have to use food and exercise as a reward/punishment. You deserve to fuel your body. You deserve to eat really great food. And moving your body is an amazing way to celebrate all the work that you're doing. But if you feel like you have to go exercise for an hour on the stair machine, which is the devil, let me tell you, I hate the stair machine. Can that be a weight loss mistake? Because I hate it. Anyway, I like hurt my shoulder on it once. I'm still really like salty about it. If you want a pack of M&Ms, you don't have to do like 20 jumping jacks. I don't know what the equivalent is because I don't care. But you also don't need to go do some mammoth exercise because you want to go eat an ice cream cone. And also, because you eat an ice cream cone doesn't mean you have to deprive yourself later. Acknowledge that you had an ice cream cone. Acknowledge that it tastes good. I hope it tasted good. I hope, you enjoyed it, and move on. Like, for example, last night we went to Dairy Queen and I finally tried the Frosted Animal Cookie Blizzard. I tried the mini, and honestly, it was not what I wanted it to be because those Frosted Animal cookies are so good. But I ate it. I tracked it. I moved on. Did I run extra today? No. Am I eating what I would normally? Yes. That's also the bonus of WW. You get your weeklies. You can eat it. Life goes on. Food is not a reward, and you don't have to punish yourself if you feel like you ate something poorly. So this last one is getting caught up in challenges. And yes, I've done this before. I've done Whole30. I've done sugar-free challenges. And one of my issues with challenges is that it demonizes certain foods. So some foods are bad, some foods are good, and then you feel guilty if you like trip up and eat something, or heaven forbid, you go to a birthday party and you eat a piece of cake. And my other thing with challenges, so there's one challenge that's super popular, 75 hard. And I will admit, like, one, I kind of thought about it, but then two, I was like, and I haven't done a ton of research. But some of these challenges are not necessarily appropriate for everybody. And so whether it is a exercise challenge run by a multi-level marketing company or a diet challenge, these people are issuing like blanket advice, and depending on where you are with your journey, your pre-existing health conditions, what your goals are, what availability you have, what your budget is, what your family life is like, it's just not cool. Like, I could not always take on those things working full-time and balancing my family. It's just not going to happen. finding, you know, whatever time to like sit and read a book at night. Like, come on. I have my 6-year-old hanging on top of me. The dogs are barking in my face. My 9-year-old is being sassy. My husband wants to pick a TV show on Netflix, which if you have not tried, takes about 47 minutes. And then I'm tired and I want to go to bed. That's why I can't do big challenges, because it doesn't work for me in my life. And you know, you might have a friend who's really successful and you're like, why can't I do this? Sometimes we just need to take a step back and say, this is where I'm at in my life right now, and this is what I am willing to put in. And sometimes it's not going to be 75 hard or working out 2 times a day or signing up for your first half marathon. There's a season and a time in your life for everything. And that's why I kind of get iffy about challenges. So that's it. Those are my top weight loss mistakes. If you like this kind of video, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm so glad to have connected with so many people here on this platform, and amazingly, I hit 1,000 subscribers. So please be sure to drop me a comment and let me know what you think I should do to celebrate 1,000 subscribers. And until next time, do something you love.